And get this, the Lakers and Spurs playing each other for the third time this week. Who makes this schedule? All right, LeBron putting it up to Russell Westbrook, finding, chemistry. There it is. All right. Showing it off right there. Lakers lead 70-68 at half. This team's really starting to find that rhythm. LeBron said, we're really just starting to get to know each other. 2 minutes left in the third. Zach Collins really gets to know Russell Westbrook. Look at that rebound, and then Collins fouls Westbrook. Creates a little bit of a skirmish here. Westbrook then charges at Collins. He's held back by LeBron James. He's bleeding like Nolan Ryan on the mound. Take another look. Westbrook just swiped by Collins. Yeah, hard contact right there on his head. Collins receives a flagrant 2. He is ejected. Westbrook tended to. He'd be given a bandage and would make one of his 2 free throws given. Yep, good as new. 11.7 rebounds and 6 assists. Now 10 minutes left in the game. Lakers up 10. LeBron, man, gets going. He had 21 points in his return on Friday. And let me outdo that right here. Creates a little space, hits a 3. Next Lakers possession off the fast break. LeBron, after all these years in the league, he's still getting it done. That's a season-high 39 points from LeBron, 11 rebounds. The Lakers win 143-138.
I think we're just, more and more on a string. I think we continue to learn each other. Like I said earlier in the season, we just said we're a new group, with a new system, a new coaching staff, and we're trying to implement things on the fly. And we're trying to, and our teaching moments was during games and losing, and unfortunately losing at times, and and it's just a sense of we're not really sure of each other. We don't know each other, but I think over the last couple of weeks we continue to learn one another, continue to play some good ball, share ball, and it's definitely.
It's on the basketball court where you're not being heckled as much. There is some culpability that you have for that, although they're classless, and whoever was threatening this family, I think, need to be found and arrested personally. That's just me. But being a Los Angeles Laker, wearing that purple and gold, the thing that's most alarming about this season is just the absence of pride that appears to exist when it comes to wearing that purple and gold. And if LeBron James, the player on the court, numbers-wise, what he's doing, still phenomenal. But boy, has his leadership taken a hit because he doesn't seem to have an effect on the culture in a positive way in L.A. There's certain things you can't tolerate. And for them to lose 12 of their last 15, they are 0-9 since the All-Star break when LeBron doesn't score 50. 0-9 when LeBron doesn't score 50. They won the 2 games he scored over 50 plus, are the 2 games that they've won, and that's it. That's what we have to pay attention to, and it's this way. He wanted Russ. He wanted Anthony Davis, perpetually injured. You got a chip. Congrats on that. But what we've seen disintegrating before our very eyes, this is going to stay with them for a long time, and Russell Westbrook has to go out of L.A. They don't want to. They don't want to say real quick. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, in both your points, yes, Russell Westbrook averaging under 18 points, his lowest in the league since his second year in the league. But I will say this. A lot of Russ's game is built on his confidence, his ego, his swagger. And since he's not having that on the court, maybe he's trying to carry it over to some of these press conferences so he can still show he's got a
rationale doesn't matter, though. It's what it's the perception, not the rationale behind it. It's what you're allowing that perception to exist about you. They don't even care right now. They want him gone. I'm talking about the city. They want him gone. And that's not me. I don't care.
They want him gone. In cities like Boston, Chicago, Philly, New York, when a team is bad, fans double, triple down on you. You hear their venom. Like, sports radio in New York, if people come at you, they attack you. It almost feels like in L.A., and I lived in L.A. for a couple of years, like you become irrelevant. It's like, like you just never happened.
Different,
right? So it almost feels like the irrelevancy has been replaced with the Russell Westbrook reality show.
Yes.
And the reality show is all this extra stuff. Here's the thing that was the most disappointing thing about it last night for me, Stephen A. Because as a hooper, and people in life, you go through ruts. Things happen, right? You have to keep fighting it. And I see the mentality of a fighter at the post-presser.
And I think Russell will be better next year. I think he's going to be better next year.
But when you go against your arch nemesis, and we know the history. I've seen Patrick Beverley on J.J. Redick's podcast where he's like, this man tarnished my career. He changed the league's perception of me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So when you go against somebody that is bringing that type of venom, how do you not rise to that challenge, Stephen A? How do you not come in that game and say, you know, I heard them last night because I'm watching you guys in Macon. I'm watching the game.
Right.
They're going under pick and rolls around the elbow area.
Right.
Saying he's with us.
That's right.
He's
with
the
us.
elbow area.
He's with us.
And my man is catching the ball, jabbing, like not knowing what. How do you not at least have 15, 20 shots?
I can answer that point. In part, it's Russell Westbrook's fault, and its part is that he's broken. He's defeated. Russell Westbrook has no confidence.
We've never said this about him.
And we've
in
never
the
said
history of the
ever.
game
He has
before.
no confidence in his perimeter shot. I said attack or kick it. Attack or kick it. Don't shoot any jumpers. Just attack the basket. But when they're saying he's with us, you're trying to prove them wrong, and you can't, and you know it now. You have no confidence in your jump shot. But the bigger problem is that, again, every little thing you do, you're doing this. Every little thing you do, you're reminding people of what you were like when you had the upper hand. Mm-hmm. And they didn't forget. And now they coming for you. And your response is to go into the media and appear nonchalant. If Russell Westbrook had that same passion at the podium that he has on the court, it would be forgivable.
Yes.
Because this is a guy that he can't get it, but damn it, he's trying. But even though we know he never cheats us with effort, because he never cheats us with effort, you cannot go onto the podium as a member of the Los Angeles Lakers acting indifferent and apathetic to your circumstances. You do that, they're going to say, that ain't what we about. Who the hell is this? And the thing that makes it worse for him is that he's one of them. He's a Los Angeles. They're like, you know better. How could you be this way?
And LeBron is dropping 50-plus points at 37 to get your team wins.
They're looking at him and they're saying, how could you be this way? You're supposed to know better. Listen, I give you this is the last point. Everybody know one of the biggest fans of the world is Snoop Dogg. That's my dog now, okay? He wants to come on First Take. I've held him off because I'm afraid of what he'll say. I got to make sure this is FCC Airways. It's FCC Airways. I mean, when this dude, Snoop Dogg, talks about the Lakers, it's worse than some of his songs. And his song's off the chain, but I'm just talking about cussing. This dude is furious. And I'll be like, you come on, just take your time. Ice Cube didn't call him yet. I know he's disgusted. List goes on and on. I ain't seen Denzel at a Laker game. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg, I ain't seen him. Ain't nobody even want to see these guys. You understand? They want to see LeBron, but they don't want to see these guys. It's a level of disgust. And I'm telling you right now, for Russell Westbrook to be from there and to be nonchalant in these post-game conferences after performing this way, people are furious.
The last thing I'll say on this real quick, Stephen A., is that I know this is going to happen because people do that, and I will combat it. I will fight it because Russell Westbrook is a Hall of Famer.
Yes, he is.
And I know how hard it is to do what he did at the level
Can't take away what he's done.
Sustained over the years.
Can't take away what he's done.
But this narrative about empty stats and no championship, there will be a part of people that will look at his legacy as that.
And all he had to do was come in the post-game conference and not be nonchalant.
I know,
be
man.
just as passionate, and he would have been forgiven for this year. Damn, he's having a bad year. We hope he comes back.
We all need to not have recency bias when it comes to Russell Westbrook. That's for sure.
The first thing to that, that would go against decades of behavior.
Totally true.
Decades of
Totally
behavior upon the Lakers'
Totally
part.
true.
They are a superstar-driven franchise.
I agree.
Secondly, to trade LeBron somewhere like Utah or Portland would go against that behavior as well. Mm-hmm. Because there's no way they would ever trade LeBron unless they got sign-off from him. There's no way they would ever trade LeBron because it goes against how they operate. This is the same family.
JJ.
This is the same family that Dr. Buss.
Before you go on, I did not say the Lakers are considering it. I said if I were the Lakers, 100%. I would be making these calls.
Okay.
So I'm asking you, if you're JJ, based on what I broke down about the team and what they got and what they don't have, what do you do?
What gets me to my next point, which is basically, if you're a team looking to trade for LeBron James and you're going to give up all your young players, like Miami. You
Not all of
mentioned
them.
Bam Adebayo.
Not all of them.
You think that getting LeBron James and giving up Bam makes Miami closer to winning a championship?
They might.
No. Cleveland, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, those guys, like that's what they're building for the future. Everything you're talking about is teams essentially operating the way the Lakers have operated for decades. Teams don't want to operate that way anymore, and that's the problem with the Lakers. They have refused to modernize how they operate, and we've seen it. The last 10 years, they've been in the playoffs 3 times. Only once did they get out of the first round, and that was in the bubble, 2020. The idea that they're going to bring in Phil Jackson to help with the coaching search, given his record as an executive in New York and with the hires he made, again, it's a pattern of behavior. We talk about it all the time, the pattern of behavior. It fits in their pattern of behavior. Other teams are not going to fall susceptible to that.
Right.
So, no, I think this is a crazy take.
Right.
This is a crazy take.
But JJ, you don't like the roster, though. We've talked about that. You said it was poorly built.
I agree with him 100%. This team is going nowhere.
Yeah.
And trading LeBron, you're not going to get anything back where you're going to say, oh, man,
Mad Dog,
we're going somewhere.
I
Where are you
generally
on
agree
this?
with everything JJ said. First off, LeBron's not going to. You can say he's got no trade. He doesn't want to go. They're not going to trade him. So we are Harden. He bailed out. Irving bailed out. The no trade thing means nothing. He's LeBron James. He doesn't want to go to Miami or Cleveland. And I agree. I don't think those 2 franchises want him. They've already won with him. Why would they want to go back there? They're building pretty good teams. So he's not going to those 2 spots. And the other thing is, you are tied in with Davis and Westbrook. This is your team. Well, you're going to trade LeBron. You're never getting anything equal value. You're going to get nothing back of note. And then you're going to have Davis and Westbrook sitting there, and they're not going to be able to win by themselves anyway.
No.
So it's a disaster. No matter how you handle it, it is a disaster. Because until you get Davis and Westbrook out, you're not going to be a good team. So you might as well have LeBron in the ball club. And by the way, about Phil Jackson.
Sure.
All right. Listen, I didn't like Derek Fisher either. He wanted Kerr. Kerr knew the better team was in Golden State, so he went to Golden State. He knew the roster was bad.
Yeah.
You're telling me that Phil Jackson can't help them pick a head coach? He loved Lou. He coached for him. I have no problem with Phil Jackson. As long as he's not picking the players,
right.
I have no problem with Phil Jackson.
I would say this to you. Again, I'm not saying this is not breaking news about what the Lakers are thinking because I don't know.
No.
What I'm saying
what
I'm saying is if it's me, because of how dire my situation is, the one asset I have is a superstar at the age of 37 who may play 2 or 3 more years tops, who, by the way, has something to do with those players being there. I might use him to help get rid of them. Not to mention the fact that he's got 1 year left on this deal. If they offer him an extension and he says no, that means after next year, he can walk away without them getting any compensation. And then what do you have? If you're the Los Angeles Lakers, if you're Jeannie Buss and Linda Rambis and Kurt Rambis and